All right, let's get our guys in the mix. CBS NBA insider Bill Reiter by word and predictive data engineer Mike McClure by number. Fellas, let's start with the numbers here. Warriors now given 5.5, total standing pat at 214.5. Bill, give us your game script here in game one. How do you see it playing out?
Guys, I wish I had more guts. If I did, I would take the Mavs with the points. I think the safe bet for me and the best bet on the board is the under 214.5. We know the Warriors have the best defensive rating in the NBA. The Mavs are at 6, and these are teams that play at a fairly slow pace of play. The Warriors surprisingly 13th this year, but the Mavs, the slowest pace of play in the NBA, and particularly when Luka Doncic goes full hero mode, full usage rate, giving the ball. He likes to go slow. He likes to dribble the clock down. He likes to really eat up that clock. I think he has a big game, but I think it's very few possessions. I think it's great defense. I think there are some nerves, especially for those Mavericks who aren't Luka Doncic on the road. So give me the under. I feel pretty comfortable about it on the 214.5 while I avoid, out of cowardice, actually betting on the Mavericks.
Mike, we've had a couple days here to chew on these numbers and the movement or lack thereof. What does that tell you about the way you're playing it? Where do we find our edge?
Yeah, for me, the edge is going to be here with the Warriors minus 5.5. Recency bias is a beautiful thing and an awful thing, depending on which side of it you're on. But I think that that's where this number should be. The number should be 7 in this game. And what we saw out of the Dallas Mavericks against the Phoenix Suns definitely has moved the market just enough here in this opening game. So I do like the minus 5.5 on the Warriors side. I think they ultimately get there with the free throws at the end of the game. For the Mavericks side, though, I think that this is going to be the toughest defensive assignment that they face. Yes, they switch a ton of screens, but Golden State spaces the floor so well and they have so many shooters. Luka and company are going to have to work a lot harder defensively than they did in that Phoenix series. I have a slight lean on the under, but my favorite play here is the Warriors to start the series with the win on their home floor.
All right, let's delve into a top prop to focus on with respect to the Dallas Mavericks. Certainly Luka has been a consistent force this postseason, so he could be the primary target. But what are you guys thinking here? Bill, we'll start off with you.
For me, on the best Dallas prop, I know it's a big number. I got it at 33.5. I'm going to go over on Luka Doncic just because this guy statistically is one of the, and I know it's a small sample size, it's 23, 24 postseason games in his career, but he's literally one of the top performers in the history of the postseason and the playoffs, and I think we're going to see him just take a ton of shots in this first game. We know that role players tend not to have big games on the road. Even though it's not Oracle, it's a new arena in downtown San Francisco, that is still a tough place to play. I think it's Luka time. I think it's hero ball. I don't know if he'll do it efficiently, but I think he'll hit that over on 33.5. I'm a big believer that at least in this game, and maybe all these games, Luka decides it's largely him against the Golden State Warriors.
I am going the complete opposite way on it. I'm taking Luka under 33.5 at plus 100 even money here. For me, it's a new series. Luka definitely turns it on and turns it into Luka time later in the series. But what I'm really focused on is how hard they're going to have to work defensively. It is such a task to defend this Golden State Warriors team. They just came off that brutal series. I say brutal. They won in dominating fashion in Game 7, but it was still a long series against Phoenix. I look for them to come out a little slow. And the thing about 33.5 points is you can score 30 points here and still have a fantastic game. They could still win this game outright. So many things have to go right to go over 33.5 total points that I think this is the game that doesn't go right for Dallas. So give me under 33.5 for Luka.
By that thought process, guys, Luka, 30 points in Game 1 against Utah, 45 in Game 1 against Phoenix. So we'll see where he lands.
And of course, he missed the first 2 of their opening series.
So his first game of that series.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's Steph, it's Clay, it's Draymond, or it's someone else. Top prop to focus on that has good odds of cashing in regarding the Warriors is what? Mike, lead us off.
You know, plug your nose because I'm going with another under here. Draymond Green, under 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Yes, it's a low number. Yes, he is somewhat of a triple-double threat in these kind of games. However, I think Dallas is going to be able to defend him properly in this spot. The rebounds in this game are going to be competitive for him as well. So I like the under 22.5. I think it comes in right at 19 to 20 here in this spot. Yeah, under is the top play for me. It's not fun to sweat, but like Bill, I'm leaning a little under in the game. So give me Draymond under 22.5.
All right, Bill, where are you with regards to a prop for the Warriors?
All right, Mike, don't judge me because there is some recency bias here, but it's the recency of I literally, just before we came on, got off the phone with a scout who a big part of his responsibility for a Western Conference team is scouting the Warriors in the regular season, and he convinced me that at least in Game 1, the absolute focus of double teams and what the Mavericks are going to do is to try to thwart Steph Curry and allow all of the space and all of the opportunities that creates for guys like Klay Thompson, all the guys on that team. So I'm going to go under the Steph 27.5 point prop, in part because I do lean heavily toward the under, in part because it sounds like, talking to folks around the NBA, that'll be the focus in Game 1 is just make sure it's not Steph who beats us, let the other guys do it. And in part because if you look back at Steph's history, this is a guy, it's not universal, but half of the times in opening games of playoff series throughout his career, he's had low-scoring games. Now, some guys in the Warriors organization will tell you that's about facilitation. He's doing other things. Some other folks will tell you, and I lean this way, that Steph Curry, as much as this team has in this series, can sometimes be a little lackadaisical and play with his food a little bit and not push the pedal to the metal the way that he might later in a series. Put that all together, I'll go under Steph 27.5.
Yeah, that's the beauty about sizing up a team like the Warriors. We have almost a decade worth of a sample size on what they've done in these types of postseason moments. Bill Reiter leaning into that story in this one. That's what our guys want you to do here in Game 1. But let's take a look at some value propositions down the road, looking at the series price. Mavs are your value proposition at plus 180 right now. You can actually catch them with another nickel on that number if you just play them on the money line here in Game 1. Mike, does that 180 represent actual percentage chance to win, or the book shorten us a little bit?
I definitely think it's being shorted just a little bit in this spot. It's not one that I would want to go grab. Like you, I would grab them on the money line now for Game 1 if you really like them. If they lose this game, obviously the number gets better. If they win the game, you're still not getting the same great value that you would on it. So my favorite way to play it, honestly, is I think this series is going 6 games regardless, right? So plus 200 for a 6-game series, doesn't matter who wins. That's my favorite play. But outside of that, Warriors in 6 at plus 450. And then there is a nice odds boost out there on Mavs in 7 at plus 850. But look, the home court advantage is huge in the NBA and frankly the NHL. All the playoffs, the home court advantage is so critical. The Mavericks are definitely going to grab a game at home. So give me this one to end in 6 games.
Yeah, tons of value there in that exact play market. That's where Mike's taking us. Bill, where are you heading?
Well, as soon as we're done here, I'm heading to take Mike's advice and take the series in 6. I love those odds, and I love that bet. Give me all the info. All right, so if I had to, it's a pass for me. I don't think there's value in either respect. I think it'll be a close series. I think certainly the Warriors are going to win, but we've seen, I'm done underestimating Dallas. So if you want some action, you got to put money down. You force me into an answer, I'll say Mavs are the better bet at plus 180. But for me, if you think the Mavs are going to win this series or think there's value in this series, like Mike said, I would wait until Game 2. I don't think Dallas will win tonight. I think it's most likely that Golden State gets this done in Game 1, especially as all the guys around Luka figure out that it feels different against the Warriors. It is different. It feels different in that arena than other places they've been. And I would make the bet after Game 2 or after Game 1 when the Mavs are down 1-0 if you think Dallas is going to win. But if you force me to an answer, I'll tell you Mavs plus 180 is a better bet for me than the Warriors at whatever they are, minus 220.
Against his will, Bill Reiter riding the Mavs.
We got a gun to his head there.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Bill Reiter going to get on the phone with his representation immediately after this segment. We force you into nothing but winners here on HQ. Great work, gentlemen. All right, let's take a look at those plays once again, both on Game 1 and on the series. Bill Reiter playing Game 1 under the 214.5. That's a lean as well for Mike McClure, but Mike is playing his favorite play here in Game 1 as the Dubs laying the 5.5. Says the real number is closer to 7, so some wiggle room there as well. Luka Doncic, you can play him over the 33.5, or you can play him under, and both of our guys are taking you opposite directions. They are Splitsville in that department. Draymond Green under the 22.5 points, rebound, assists for Mike, and then Steph under his 27.5 as these two teams feel each other out in Game 1.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.